Mr. Livingston, I presume.
Hey guys, Popo Joe Explode. I'm back to you today with kind of like a gear setup, gear review kind of thing. As you can see in front of you, everything has one thing in common: leather. That's right, guys. This stuff actually goes onto a belt and suspender rig for my black powder. Now, the reason I went with leather is because, well, it looks appropriate when shooting black powder. You know, days of old, and it's easy to clean when you get smudges on it, and it just looks appropriate, and it also helps any type of metal component from getting like water on it, and also, as well as, I shoot a lot of paper cartridges, so it's got to keep it dry. So, well, there's a lot of synthetic materials out there that aren't waterproof, whereas leather is. So the leather has its benefits, as well as it just looks good, and it looks good for what I use it for. As you can see, there's a lot of different pouches, a lot of different holsters, but I'm not going to start with those right now. I'm actually going to start with this. This is just a standard belt that I got at Walmart. It's, as you can see, it is a double hooked, because I want as much support as possible, and it's a thicker belt. So it's got a lot of holes in it. I forget who makes this one, but I picked it up at Walmart, and it's got the kind of a mahogany, chocolate stain to it, which all these pretty much have the same, except for this and then this. These are different, but as for all these, they all have somewhere around the same shade. So I kind of like things to match, But anyways, that's all this is. This is just a leather belt, double hooked, and a little bit on the thicker side, just because I can get the most support out of it, to tell you the truth. So that's where all these pouches and the holsters actually go onto. Now, to support everything, I do have, once again, like a mahogany chocolate leather suspender kit. I've had these suspenders for a long time, and to tell you the truth, I like wearing them. I mean, I don't wear them every day, but I guess I'm a little old school, because if these were in vogue more often, I probably wear them more often, because if you've never worn them, well, they they just give you great support on your belt, and they keep your trousers up, and yeah, in certain aspects, with certain other articles of clothing, they actually look really good. But if you have a problem having your pants fall down, or today's style, if you're into prison rape or the gang culture, that you will know that sagging the pants is kind of the in thing, which is retarded. So anyways, suspenders, they'll help carry all the stuff that's on my belt up, because a lot of this stuff weighs a couple of pounds at least, a good number of ounces, especially with all the lead that all my bullets are made out of. Things can get a little heavy, especially the size of this Howitzer right here. I mean, that's not a light handgun. So I need something that kind of keeps my pants up while I'm walking around and supporting all this stuff. So essentially, between the belt and these, it's kind of like an 18th century LBE in sorts. So that's kind of what kind of gave me the idea, was actually seeing the old school LBEs from like the Vietnam era, and I was like, you know what? I see a lot of these stuff in like the older genres of movies, where the guys, they are having a belt with all their stuff on it, but then they also got a pair of suspenders on, which I'm pretty sure is where the LBE got its idea. So like in the movie The Mummy, a lot of those guys had belts full of stuff, guns, and then they also had a pair of suspenders holding them up. So this is a must when you're carrying this much gear. So there you go. Now let's go into some of these pouches right here. Of course, we all know what this is. This is a 7.62 by 54 ammo pouch. Leather, extremely cheap. I think I paid like $7 after taxes for this one pouch at a gun shop, and is one of the better looking ones. And you know, it's perfect for what I need. I mean, it's leather. It has a cap over it so rainwater doesn't get into it, as long as it don't, you know, fall into a puddle or anything. It should keep my paper cartridges dry. You know, even though I do keep them in plastic bags, but yeah, it keeps things dry. It's extremely easy to operate. I mean, hell, I mean, if you can't get this on your belt, there's something wrong with you. And it actually accommodates very large belts, so, which is what I like. Looks very similar to the style I'm going for. Eventually, I do want to put like wood blocks in here, so that when I open it up, my cartridges will just be kind of sitting in it. I'll just pull one out at a time, kind of like the old school cartridge boxes from the Civil War, but kind of in a miniature style, where maybe it's just it just holds 5 on each side. So kind of more for like a hunting aspect, you could say, or just, you know, for the recreational shooter. So that's what eventually I want to do with these, but for right now they just keep my bags full of cartridges, and you know, it's another barrier to protect it from the elements, and it looks good. So that's why I have this. These right here are cylinder pouches for my revolver. In each one, I have a cylinder in it. I think you could see some version of these like this in Pale Rider, but yeah, you know, it just keeps the cylinders in there, protects from the elements, and it looks good. I got these from Cabela's. I think these were like $14 a piece or something like that. But since I have 2 cylinders, I got 2 of these, and these fit side by side on the belt on my pistol side. So yeah, so if I got these, I can keep them loaded. Seeing how they have false bottoms, I also don't think it's a good idea anyways to keep them capped. So at least I could actually have them loaded, and all I have to do is pull them out like this. You can put your finger and push them out, and then at that point cap them all up, or put on the gun, then cap it all up, and then you're good to go. I tried to put them in the other way, but to push them out, I noticed they were kind of catching back here, but I guess I still haven't worn them in. These are brand new as of right now, so maybe if I can keep the caps up top, I could, you know, just for recreational shooting, actually keep them capped, and whenever I'm ready to shoot, just pull it out, just make sure I just don't drop it. But yeah, no, there's a lot of people that say, oh, keep it capped or not keep it capped, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm just at the range shooting, you know, why not? But if I'm out and about walking, no, I won't keep them capped. You know, especially if I'm like a risk of falling down the side of a hill or a mountain or something. No, absolutely not. But so these right here, side by side on the belt, cartridge pouches. I got those from Cabela's. And this right here, this is an interesting little pouch. This right here is actually a Civil War style Confederate leather cat pouch. Doesn't have any markings on it, which is good because I didn't want one with markings. Huge loops for large belts in them, and as you can see, it's got a little side protector so none of your caps fall out. And when you pull this big lip tongue right here, there's actually a second flap to it. When you open the flap, you got your caps. Inside is the like this wool. So I guess if everything's it doesn't go all the way down. It's kind of like near the top. So if you put stuff in there, it keeps stuff from really bouncing up and falling out the side, which is pretty interesting. And I didn't really think about that, but that's what that is. I do keep a tin in here at all times, so I do have caps with my cap box. But when I'm out shooting, I'll just open it up, pour it down in there, put the tin back, in my shirt pocket or something. So whenever I go to shoot, I just pull it out, reach in, grab a cap, and use it that way. And whenever I'm done, I just pour these back into the tin and then put the tin back in here. So that's my cap pouch, and I think that cost me like $17 at Dixie Gunworks. This is a handmade piece. You can see the riveting is definitely from a handmade tool, and yeah, so decently priced, good leather, and doesn't quite match the rest of the colors, but at least I know which one is my my caps, and really good piece, really well made. And once again, I got that at Dixie Gunworks. So holsters, everybody's seen this holster. This is the one I got from Cabela's. Holds my 1851 Navy in, and you can get this style, or you can get like a Slim Jim, which is just pretty much this without the straps. And I got one of those too, but I never use it because I like to keep a positive retention of my firearm. I mean, I'm not doing any quick draws anytime soon with it, which is why you would pretty much carry a Slim Jim holster. You're just having fun like that. But plus, I like the straps. It gives it kind of a better flair, I guess you could say. It looks nicer. But I don't know if they sell these anymore. I think they do. But once again, you can get this style of holster from Cabela's, and once again, it looks the same. I think this is a Circle K leather brand. So that's what I use for that. You've seen that a lot. And then we have this. You'll see this in the Howitah video. This is the big ass holster for my Howitah pistol. Big pistol, big holster. And I got this also from Dixie Gunworks. Very cheap, but actually very well made. It's probably cheap because of how simple it is. I think I paid maybe $20 for this holster, and it's just very simple but extremely huge, and designed just for the this Howitah pistol. I mean, I think if you put a 44 Magnum in here, it would actually fall all the way down to the bottom of this thing. And I'm talking like a Smith & Wesson Model 29. I mean, I think this is big for that. But anyways, so that's that. Now, another thing I have is the Pith helmet. Pith helmet. Why Pith helmet? Well, a few reasons. I was actually looking at some videos on YouTube about the Pith helmet, and the people who have gotten a Pith helmet for the same reason that I got the Pith helmet, which was because you live in an extremely hot area and you like to go shooting. And some people got it for prepping reasons. Some people wanted an alternative to the boonie hat. I mean, the boonie hat's nice. It's lightweight. You can soak it in water. Just like a baseball cap, I guess. You can carry stuff in the band, and they look nice, and they keep the sun off your face. But yeah, so. But if you're black powder shooting, do you really want to wear a boonie cap? Originally, what I was doing is I was shooting with my cowboy hat. The only problem is with this cowboy hat is well, it's hot. It's made out of wool. Could I get a straw style? Well, between Cowgirls and Toby Keith, I'm not going to wear a straw hat, so that's just out of the question. Now there is those one cowboy hats that look they're white, but if you look real close, they're still kind of a lattice of a straw. They're just, you know, well lacquered. That's kind of like a kind of almost, you know, business casual style of a hat, and I'm just not into them. I like my wool hats, my wool cowboy hats, like this one right here with the a custom bear claw hat band, which was made by a good friend of mine. And I got my Stetson that I've had since I was in the military after my first tour. Yeah, but they're both wool, so that makes them hot. So I needed something a little less hot. So the Pith helmet, light in color, doesn't absorb heat, extremely lightweight. Honestly, when I picked out, you can watch a video on the Pith helmet and be like, oh, it's a helmet, so inside your mind you instantly think, oh, it's got a little weight to it. No. In fact, when I picked up this and I picked up my boonie cap and I kind of held it, you know, this honestly weighed just maybe an ounce, probably not even an ounce more. I mean, these are extremely lightweight. I mean, they're made out of essentially a cork with fabric over it, so extremely lightweight. Ventilations, both sides. Ventilation cap on the top, and you can see in here where the ventilation goes up in here. Yeah, so it breathes really good, especially in this Texas heat. When I go shoot my black powder, usually for some reason I'm always out shooting the hottest part of the day. A lot of places you can't shoot indoors because they don't allow black powder. I know this one outdoor range that's kind of an indoor range. They really don't like it. They'll let you shoot it there, but they don't really like you shooting because it creates a haze over the entire range. Being kind of like an outdoor range with an awning covering over the whole thing. So even then, they you know, it's hard to shoot black powder. So I got to be outdoors, out in the sun. Being in Texas, it gets stupid hot, especially when it's really humid outside. So why were these invented? Colonial Africa, colonial India, where it's hot and it's humid. So another thing you do is you can soak these in water. Pour a bunch of water into it, let it soak. Not to where, you know, like it starts to rip the fabric or anything because it swells. But at that point, you know, you can put it on, and when the water evaporates, it cools you. So another reason to have a Pith helmet. Now this is kind of a cheaper version. I think that this band right here is only for aesthetics. But I got this at villagehatshop.com for $45, and it's, as you'll see in some of these upcoming videos, I like it. When I was wearing it, it really breathed, and it. I mean, look at the band on this. It's got a decent brim to it, so definitely keeps the sun off your neck, keeps the sun off your face, keeps you cool, it helps you breathe. And honestly, guys, when I'm out shooting black powder, it actually looks kind of cool wearing it because it's kind of period correct. Even though this is a French style from the early 19th century, I mean the early 20th century, and most of these weapons are from the late 19th century. So take it for what you will. But Pith helmets did exist then, and you know, and they just look good. They look interesting. Not everybody wears them, and they're really great for when you're doing outdoor activities. So that's why I'm going to be wearing the Pith helmet from now on, because, well, it's just damn hot in Texas, especially when you're rugging around all this leather. Alright guys, so anyways, that's my black powder gear rig review. I hope that you may have gotten some ideas, or you know, at least maybe sparked a little bit of imagination. But yeah, so when I go out and shoot black powder, just like every other rig with my AR-15s, my Glocks, my Walthers, with my plate carriers and LBEs, I too have one system for my black powder. Alright guys, remember to friend, subscribe, like. Now more videos come.